Dr. Blessing, again, was always available, and as I got a little bit older, I graduated high school at 17 and really didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I just worked since I was 13, so I was always working. And eventually I figured out if I really want to do something, I'm going to need to go to college. And Dr. Blessing suggested I continue or start on a chiropractic career. I wasn't totally sure of that. It seemed a little bit risky at that time. So, I started going to community college in an engineering program, and after about 1 or 2 semesters, I just really figured it really wasn't for me, and I switched my major to pre-med at that point. Now, a side note, my mom, unfortunately, at that time was diagnosed with cancer. This is about 1980. So it took me a number of years to get through my prerequisites. She passed away in 1981. So I had to go to school sort of part-time, work full-time. But I eventually finished my undergraduate prereqs for chiropractic in 1982, and then put everything I owned in my 1972 Volvo and drove to South Carolina to start chiropractic school. So that was sort of like jumping off a cliff with my fingers crossed. So it's fun to talk about now, but I was extremely nervous back then, and a whole different world down there. Some hard times, and I just want to say to young people or anybody that's struggling, if you can, everybody's situation is different, but if you can persevere through things like that and just keep your focus and hopefully find a good mentor or support system. I can't thank my mom enough, or Dr. Blessing, Dave enough for that constant encouragement as a young man to say, hey, just keep pushing and have good focus, and things will work out. So the college I chose was called Sherman College of Chiropractic, and the reason I went there was because Dr. Blessing suggested that this is the college that had the best philosophy. At that time, chiropractic was divided into a couple different camps for different objectives. And he said Sherman College was really an offshoot of Palmer College, and started by a lot of the professors that had gone to Palmer College, just to really give the philosophy of how the body helps heal itself and that it was natural. So trusting his guidance, again, went to South Carolina, and I just remember getting there the first summer. I think the first semester started in June. It was just ungodly hot, and the days were 10 hours long. I just remember coming home and passing out on bed at 3 o'clock in the afternoon just because it was so hot. I worked when I was down there as offset printing, so I went to school during the day and then worked at night. It was pretty challenging, to say the least. But we had about 25 or 30 people in our class, but it was pretty neat because we were all from different parts of the country, and everyone had the same objective. And the professors were very passionate about what they were doing, and it was just really felt like you were part of a team that was going to honestly feel like you're going to change the world. It was just really fun in that respect, and being in my mid-20s, it was just something, again, that just really empowered me and just really gave me a vision of hope. And, fun in that respect, even though it was a lot of work. I remember having to, you would take notes, and I remember having to recopy my notes 3 or 4 times for every class. It seemed to be the only way that I could retain information. And I always tried to study with people that were smarter than me, just because I gained so much from them and created lifetime friendships with some of these people. And that was 3 years of year-round education, no real break in there, but I'd come back home every once in a while, do the drive from Pennsylvania to South Carolina in a car with no air conditioning, and just with the windows down, and 635 miles. So it was a real fun part of my life, but getting to the end of that was just really enjoyable. We had to take national boards for, the ability to get ourselves licensed in different areas, so there were definitely some key stress points along the way.